Wake up! No sleeping in class. And Zane, why did you not submit your homework last night?
I'm sorry, we just start school so early and I didn't have anyone to help me with my homework at home.
Lots of excuses, but not a lot of work ethic. Get back on your computer and do your work.
But I need help with this assignment.
Well, I actually have a class period coming in right now. You wasted your time. Get a friend from class to help you outside, because I don't have time to help you right now.
I don't have friends in this class. We've been online for 2 years with our cameras off. I barely know anyone in this school. No one in this class is going to help me with my work.
Figure it out and do your work.
This is not working.
This school is not designed with children's needs in mind.
This cannot continue. Introducing
The People Project. With the implementation of the People Project, we aim to mitigate teacher and student burnout and foster a sense of community by community connection, transforming the school into a community, redesigning the school with human nature in mind, and cultivating wellness that is meaningful and authentic. Step 1, transforming the school into a community. The first part of this step would be implementing community nights. These would be a series of school-sponsored events and gatherings that would include interests that are relevant to the needs and interests of members within our community. Our next step as a part of this process would be making school resources more accessible to members within our community. Right now, when we close our school doors at the end of the day, we are locking students and community members out from resources that they so desperately need. Especially in urban settings, many students do not have safe areas where they can access places to exercise and play games. By opening our school up during certain hours and allowing our students and community members into our school, and by not only inviting, but actively bringing in community organizations and presenters into our school to use our space, we can transform our school from a palace on a hill into an actual community where people can come together and take pride in. One such community organization that we would be proud to work with would be this program right here, Hope for Tomorrow. This is a program that works with ENL students in Indiana, and they have helped more than 200 adults get their citizenship, and they've helped more than 700 students with homework and academic needs. Imagine the power we would have if they were in our building with our students and our families.
The third component is introducing school uniforms district-wide. School uniforms are already used in many countries around the world. At the top, we have a picture of Amy with her school uniform, and this is a picture of my sister wearing school uniform in Ghana, where we grew up. And this has already been shown to have positive benefits. One of the benefits is that students feel a sense of belonging to the school community. Another thing is that students feel a responsibility to behave in a way that honors the school uniform. Our school uniform would be flexible enough to be affordable for the families in our community, and we would also have a uniform drive to help provide additional support as needed.
Step 2, redesigning the school with human nature in mind.
How are we going to redesign the school with human nature in mind? The first step is aligning the school schedule with students' needs. The second step is encouraging offline collaboration. Right now, at the schools in our hypothetical district, secondary students are starting around 7:45 a.m. and elementary school students are starting later in the morning. As Wendy Troxel, a sleep researcher, said, waking a teenager up at 6 a.m. is the biological equivalent of waking an adult up at 4 a.m. Imagine we brought you all here without your morning coffee.
And this is biologically backwards. Take a look at this chart that shows the circadian rhythms of children, adolescents, and adults. And please take note of the fact that children who are more naturally awake earlier in the day have the latest start times, while adolescents who are sleepier in the morning and naturally wake up later on in the day have the earliest start times. By flipping those start times, we can align our school schedule with their natural biological needs, and we could flip the bus schedules at no extra cost. We could keep that same schedule.
The second way that we would align the school schedule with secondary students' needs is by implementing a daily 45-minute flex period. This is time when students can sign up to do what they need to do. For example, get help from the math teacher that maybe they can't get when they're at home, meet with a club, do an enrichment activity, so they'd be able to take some agency in deciding what to do. So this is a graph from Bloomington High School South, and in 2008 they implemented a flex time that they called Panther Plus. So this shows how it impacted each grade. So the first bar in each one, the blue one, is from before they implemented it. The second one is the failure rates in math classes after it was implemented, so significant drop. And then next is shooting back up during online learning with COVID, and then going back down after coming back to school in person. And take note of the fact that the difference of the failure rates from before and after implementing this was as drastic as the difference from before and after coming back to school in person after a literal worldwide pandemic. That's the kind of impact it had.
Just take a moment to sit with that. While high school students will be getting flex periods to support their academic needs, we are planning on having a 15-minute community circle time for all classrooms pre-K through 5th grade to support their social and emotional learning. We want to make sure that students in pre-K through 5th grade have coping skills and emotional regulation skills that are so critical in our work, in our lives today. One way that we want to make sure that we can accomplish this is by providing professional developments for teachers. We would provide professional developments in areas such as social and emotional learning, trauma-informed education, and collaborative learning, as well as encouraging collaborative learning whenever possible. We would also like to extend these competencies outside of the school into their home environments, which are sometimes unpredictable and not always as safe as school. By providing break bags, as pictured here, we can extend these skills that they're practicing in school into their home environments so they can continue to practice these coping mechanisms and skills. Step 3, supporting students' overall health.
This is the wellness wheel with the 8 dimensions of health. The People Project seeks to improve all 8 dimensions of health to uplift students' mental health. We can't just focus on the mental health, but we have to look at the student as a whole in order to improve their mental health. This shows the ways that everything we have in our project is connected to the 8 dimensions of health.
Special education and disability support. Although each aspect of our project would support these groups of students, we are intentionally taking out a chunk of our funding to make sure that we are equitably addressing the needs of these students in our communities. One way we would do that is by providing supplies to grade level teams in each building to help support the needs of students who have sensory needs. We would allocate funds to buy classroom furniture that is inclusive and flexible, and we would also have community nights within our district that would support the specific needs and interests of families and students within this demographic.
This is how the use of our funding would be distributed. So this pie chart shows the percentages for all of the money.
Sustainability. So our professional development is investing in our teachers, it's investing in our students. That's something that is a long-term investment with each professional development that we do. Inclusive furniture can be reusable, and we can find community partnerships and donors that could do that with us in the future, that could donate things for us. Community nights. Fundraisers and forming community partners is one way that we think that we can continue to do community nights past the first year of implementation. We want to plant money, not burn it.
Every year we would analyze the effectiveness of the project to figure out if we need to reallocate funds or change any part of our plans. And we would have teachers be a part of this as shown in the rubric, and we are getting their buy-in. We're not forcing some curriculum on them or anything. We're trying to make this as easy for them.
Please consider investing in the People Project.
Judge and panel, what questions do you have?
Thank you for participating. And do you have an acting background?
Speech, I was telling Zane I did speech and debate, so this suit's been in my closet since my senior year of high school.
Very good.
Whipping it out for my senior year of college one more time, right?
Nice.
Watch
People
Shark Tank.
Yeah.
You watch Shark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I watched Shark Tank actually, but I'm not at Amy's level.
No.
And the People Project is a name you came up with, right? So I was just looking through those to make sure something else that was from someone. Yeah, very good. Thank you.
What other questions does the panel have?
I have one that's just a small question, but
Of course.
when thinking about switching the start times and things, what considerations did you take in terms of potential negative things associated with that? So I think of if elementary school kids are ending earlier and parents aren't home and things like that.
Of course. So we outlined a little bit in our essay that we would be working with partnership with the YMCA and that they would provide after school care for students that would need it. As we mentioned in our program as well, sustainability is a big goal. So right now we're focusing on these specific goals with our funding. But for example, I worked at the Boys and Girls Club for 2 years in Ellettsville. And I know that with proper fundraising and intentional saving, they were able to make it so that after school care was completely
memberships for free.
Yeah, free memberships in Ellettsville. So right now, this is what we would be starting with, but again, the goal is sustainability, so we're starting with these goals, and we're still having that access to after school care for families who need it. with the ultimate goal of making that after-school care and before-school care free and accessible and equitable for all families.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is the end of the Q&A time. Thank you both so much. Let's
Thank
give them a hand.
And thank you all for your time.